The thing that's really special about this interview tonight is I met Amy for the first time tonight. I connected with her through her sister, who I know quite well, and they all made about a 3 or 4 hour drive to be here tonight, which is really special. So I think that, where we started with in the beginning of talking about curiosity and human connection, meaningful conversations, this is how it unfolds. This is how curiosity comes to life when I'm able to sit across from somebody that I don't really know and get to know them more than most of us would spend the time getting to know. So I encourage you to watch curiosity unfold on this couch this evening. And I would like to invite Amy Tremblay to join me for a Comfy Couch interview. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for making the trip to be here and to share everything that you're going to share wherever it is that we go tonight. It's kind of the beauty of conversation is you really never know where it's going to go when it starts, right? So I think that we've talked a lot about, or I kind of spoke to at the beginning of childhood, and I was going back there. And can you tell me what was your earliest memory of you as a child?
I grew up on the farm too in Saskatchewan. Probably playing outside in the grass, sunshine, my sisters. Yeah, pretty free, wild kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Just playing. Yeah.
And did you keep that kind of same sense of play with you as you grew up?
No, 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 no. Ditched that early. Still working on it.
As we usually do. I always say
Yeah.
growing up gets in the way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Responsibilities and serious and all that jazz. Yeah. Checklist.
So how in your life at this moment are you trying to incorporate play back into it?
I think probably with my kids, being present. Kids are fun. Like they're just innately fun. They haven't been weighted down yet, maybe. So being with my kids and enjoying them and being present and ditching the to-do list just to play.
And did you see that sense of play unfolding when you made the decision to be a mother?
No. No, that was a surprise. Fun. It was a good surprise. No, I'm just coming back to that sense of play. Probably in the last couple of years, I pretty get some shit done. That's my MO. Yeah, good. Check off the list. So, yeah, yeah. I think you might be creating it right now. Actually, yeah.
Love that. So when you think about your childhood and how you bring that to life through the children that you have, how do you start seeing yourself again within them after you become a mother?
I I think as a mom, it might be more a sense of wonder at these amazing beings that, yeah, I mean, you give them such amazing gifts, and you give them, oh shit, I'm sorry, I gave you that. Like, yeah, it's they're both pretty funny, so it's they reflect back to you. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, and I think finding a sense of humor in that, because some of it's not all awesome. So it's pretty fun watching. Yeah. They teach me more than I teach them, for sure. Yeah.
What did you imagine being a mother was going to be like?
I thought I was going to be awesome. Because I had, yeah, I know there's foreshadowing there, right? Yeah. I had little sisters. I babysat a ton. I loved kids. I was going to be great. And then then I had my first, and I didn't sleep for months, and it was breastfeeding sucked, and labor and delivery wasn't fun, and nobody told you, like, you're lonely, you're stuck at home. We had just moved, I had just graduated, I just started a new job, threw a new baby in. I didn't enjoy it at all. And I mean, I had this beautiful little one she was extraordinary. But yeah, I was not an awesome mom, and it was a little disappointing because I thought I'd just rock star it and didn't. Nope.
So what were some of those big like pivotal learning moments along the way when you were in it and you were like, oh shit, this is actually what it's really like?
Yeah.
How do you navigate motherhood when you've never experienced it before?
I think that's just you get chucked in and you go and you find your way, and your kids turn out somehow. It's because they teach me. But yeah, and it's the extraordinary love, like the unconditional that love that you feel for them, gets you through the craziness. I think it's like it's mind blowing how much you love these little ones, and yeah, you just keep going back through tough stuff, fun stuff, whatever, because they're so extraordinary, and the possibility of helping them realize how amazing they are is worth all the craziness. Yeah.
It's really so much of giving that love so freely, right? How has your definition of love changed since you become a mother? Or has it?
Yeah, it has. I think I maybe didn't understand, or there's just no way to know. I think I had no way of knowing the depth that you can feel love. And as a mom, it is, you love these people so much, and you want for them so much, and to see them happy and grow and nurture. And I find myself doing crazy things, like learning new skills or being in uncomfortable situations or doing wild things that there's no way I would have. I'm pretty introverted, that I would have done before, in the hopes that they're happy and well loved and well cared for, and they grow into their potential. So yeah, it's a deeper sense of love, and not like a very selfless, not what am I getting out of this, but you jump in and don't think about it, and it's how can I help develop you, or just help you. Yeah.
So with that, how do you take that sense of love and really give it into a family when families go through things that are really incredibly hard?
I think it's one day at a time, slowly, and being very present, and with a lot of help. A lot of help. We had so much support and love, I think. Yeah, that help and love. Yeah, because community support. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the reason why you're here tonight is to talk about somebody very, very special. And when I talk about going through really hard times and having things happen to us in life that we never expect, can you share to me that moment when something happened in your life that you didn't expect?
Yeah. Our oldest daughter was 2, and she was not well, and we couldn't figure out why. And it was this in December, right before Christmas, and she was diagnosed with a neuroblastoma, which is an adrenal tumor that some kids, like if they're diagnosed like early enough, do quite well, but most kids don't. And so we went through that with treatments and craziness with her for a year and a half, and she passed away a year and a half later. And it was, yeah, upside down for our family. It was, and checked in, and yeah, this stuff doesn't happen to us, right? So, yeah.
So, if you're comfortable, can you tell me, what was happening that day? Do you remember that moment when you heard the news from the doctor? What was actually happening? How did it feel to be there and transition into an entirely new world that you've never really known before?
Yeah, it was, I think we were in shock a little bit. It's like, this doesn't happen to us, like, what the, is this really happening? And this beautiful little girl with tummy aches, yeah, it's inconceivable, really. And yeah, and they just remember, like, so naive that the doctor said, okay, you like go home, pack a bag, and just go to 3100. You're you might be staying for a while. And so we went home and packed a bag for the three of us for a couple of days. And I went to the hospital in Melfort. And I got there and I said, I'm supposed to go to 3100. And she's like, I think that's in Saskatoon at RUH. I was like, holy shit, we're going to the city? Like, okay. But I was so, I wasn't thinking, it's like, what are you talking about? So yeah, went to the city and wound up staying for a month that time before she was actually officially diagnosed, and we had a plan. And yeah, so yeah, I distinctly remember it, but it was shocking. Yeah, yeah.
And then to have to transition to an entirely different home, I think, for a month too, right? And I think that, how did your love kind of kick into gear at that moment when you were like, okay, this is something that maybe is more serious than when we recognized? How do you use love to carry a family through that initial kind of turmoil?
I I stopped working, and I think it was just focusing on her, on Dana, and just yeah, we'll get we'll get through this. We'll get through this together. But so much family and friend support. We had a younger daughter yet. She was 9 months old. So two grandmas and grandpas and family friends of ours that are here tonight just jumped in and took her, because we had a baby at home to take care of too. And yeah, and I think that love between giving love and navigating a whole new unexpected circumstance, and receiving love and help from people closest to us, that yeah, gets you through. But yeah, we needed a lot of help, and I was grateful. It was hard. Yeah, yeah.
And tell me a little bit about Dana. I think, like, who was she before everything, and who was she during the process of everything? I think it's fascinating of what we learn from children when they're going through something that is insurmountable, that we can't even imagine ourselves, right? So paint a picture for us of what Dana was really like and how her spirits were going through something like this.
She was sweet and kind, funny. She loved. We were talking on the way here. We were remember just memories, and she had a great giggle that came up from her belly, but it was really like not a deep giggle. It was pretty high, and little round rosy cheeks and bright blue eyes. And she loved crafts and playing outside and digging in the dirt and normal kid stuff, exploring and curiosity. And yet she was also a little shit. Like she would, like when she decided she was going to do something, she was going to do something. And yeah, she's stubborn. I don't know where she got that from. And yeah, and she carried that through, those qualities of sweet and kind and She never really complained much through, I mean, before being diagnosed and during, and you go through a lot of stuff, a lot of uncomfortable things. And I think when you're 3, you don't understand why am I getting poked 400 times? Why do I have to have Band-Aid changes? Like, it hurts, it's uncomfortable. And she never really complained about much of it at all, just sweet and kind and gentle. And yet, when she decided that she was going to do something, like, look out, right? And I remember one time we were at the Ronald McDonald House, and I think this is her personality in a nutshell. She had to take the elevator up by herself, so she did, and we met her. We weren't supposed to have food in the rooms. It was just a house rule to keep things clean and neat. And we had taken a glass of water up, and I was like, I think a glass of water will be okay. And I set it on the dresser, and she was playing, and I said, Dana, don't do that. You're gonna spill that water. And I had warned her quite a few times, and she's like, I'm still gonna play. So, and pretty soon knocks the water over, and like spilled all over everything, filled the drawers of the dresser, and we had water everywhere. And I was like, crap, we weren't supposed to bring that up here. And so we're cleaning it all up. She's like, don't worry, Mom. She's like, you just go relax, and I'll be Cinderella, and I'll do all the work. So I think that's Dana. She was, yeah, like, I'm not gonna play, right? So, yeah.
What did she teach you about play during that time, and did it shed light on the play that you were missing in your life in those moments?
I think it taught me to be present because we didn't know day to day how things were going to go or how she was going to be feeling or what would change that day. Definitely a loss of control. Yeah, day to day, you don't, like, you can pretty much throw out the plan, and just surrender to what's in front of you. And she taught us that through all of that, to be present and enjoy the moment and whatever the day brought or what you could scoop up in the day. And I think I learned that with her, just to be really, really present and enjoy what the day brought. Yeah.
So tell me about what that journey of presence looked like, after she is diagnosed, and did they give you a time of how long she had to live, or was it just?
Yeah, it was, we'll try, this chemo and that chemo, and she had a couple surgeries, and her kidneys failed with some of the drugs, so then she was on dialysis, and there was complications, and so yeah, we didn't really know, like, it was quite hopeful to start with, like, let's try this and see what happens. But yeah, I'm not sure what it was, somewhere along the year where it's like, this isn't looking so great, or yeah. But so no, we never really knew. It was, let's just jump in and try this and see what happens. So it really was a day by day, yeah, which I wasn't very good at. I get shit done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really, I think, forces you so much to actually live in the present, because you don't really know how much longer that present is going to be there, right? So what did you learn in those moments of going through that journey of presence? What did it teach you about the way that you looked at life while you were experiencing life that way?
I was pretty goal oriented before that. I, you graduate from high school, get a degree, get another degree, like, start your job, like, it's, yeah, get the house, start your family, check, check, check. And I just worked hard, and I mean, loved people, and I had fun along the way, but I really goal oriented, checking off the list, right? And yeah, it switched that. It's like, what's precious, to stop and be grateful for the smallest things, and and to really have fun, to play and enjoy the day, and its unexpected moments. Yeah, I think that's it. Changed a lot because I was really goal oriented to really focusing on small things and being grateful for what's right in front of you, what you already have, and what you are, what's inside. Yeah.
So, is there a moment that you knew that the present days were coming to an end?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. Amanda and I on the way here. We were actually in Edmonton and in a hospital room, and she looked at me, and she was in those little striped kid hospital pajamas they have. They're kind of cute and kind of look like they're from jail. And they, she looked at me, and we were doing the positive talk, like if we're positive and we can overcome anything. And I was like, how do you have that conversation with a 3-year-old, right? But I was trying, and let's elevate our consciousness. Like, she's 3 and already elevated. She was just waiting for me. Um, but she looked at me, and the look on her face was like, Mom, like, she knew. She knew in August. She passed away in February. And she knew in August, like, my journey's coming to an end. And she was just waiting for me to catch up. So I laughed because it wasn't really until about 3 days before she died that I knew the journey was coming to an end, because I was still being really positive. And as I said, I think it's our job as parents to keep your kids safe. And that's part of you keep them safe and protected. And we couldn't. And so, yeah, I think she knew in August. It was just like, oh, Mom, when are you going to catch up? So, yeah, it wasn't, till 3 days before she died that I caught on. And I was like, okay, we have to prepare for this, because all the positive in the whole world's not going to change the outcome of this right now. So, yeah,
And I think in that moment, that's where love comes back,
very
right?
much.
So I think that when you're in that space, how did love pull you through that?
that that shifting gears. How can I make this easier for her, more comfortable for her? What can we do to make this the most fun or enjoyable, or the last few days for a 3-year-old? And but again, I have to say, like, our whole family was there, and friends, and just, yeah, we were never alone. Never alone. Well loved, well cared for. Um, yeah, and it just pulling strength, I think, from people around us yeah, to, yeah, say goodbye, right? Yeah, yeah.
So after that, what did life look like for you
It was
after that?
hard, really hard at first. I remember those first couple weeks. Brushing my teeth and getting dressed was yay, like I rock today. um, I actually, the morning after she died, went in the afternoon, and the next morning I got up early before the sun was up. I was early, and I snuggled in. We had this big comfy chair, and I snuggled in, and I was watching out the window, and I could feel her little hand on my cheek, and I knew she was okay. And it was like this revelation that I was gonna have to learn how to accept it. I said, it's like, that's all I have to do now, is learn how to accept this. and then I can move forward, and because life's gonna go on. We still had a 2-year-old, and life's gonna go on, and that's, I was so grateful for our 2-year-old, because she still wanted to get up and play, and I still want breakfast. So she pulled us through, and there was actually one of Dana's friends she went to daycare with that she was a year older than Dana, and she asked Audra, their babysitter, she said, did Dana get her circle thing? And Audra's like, what circle thing? Like her, and she said, well, her circle thing. And she's so frustrated, like these dumb adults, right? And she finally got it. I was like, oh, her halo. Did she get her halo? She's like, she did. She got her circle thing. And she's like, well, then she's good. Like, check. So that's like, again, that sense of play, like you're like learning from little ones, right? Like they've got it, they got it, right? We need to, it was one of those moments where it's, I need to follow Rebecca's lead, and she's got her circle thing, like check, she's good. So time for us to move on too, right? And but I was glad to have the time to just take some time to heal up after, and really just focus on brushing my teeth and getting dressed. And yeah, it gave me new appreciation for depression. I didn't understand at all until then.
So take me a little, or take us, into your healing journey. I think that when you get to that place where she allowed you to learn to accept,
Yeah.
which is another very powerful form of love. And how did you take that acceptance that she gave you and how did you learn to heal with it?
Well, and that's what I focused on, was just accepting that it had happened, and then moving forward, how to honor her, I said, like, it was a choice, whether I could be bitter and miserable and feel sorry for myself, or I could honor her and everything that she was, and that sense of play and the sassiness, and bring more love into the world. And I think it was just a little bit of healing, quiet time, which I was grateful for. And then it's like, how am I going to honor her every day? How am I going to bring more love into the world and make this a place that she'd be proud of, or me? Like, how are we gonna make her proud of us and honor her? And I think it was that focus on, she wouldn't want us to be sad and miserable and bitter, and focus on the good, because it was extraordinary, all the tough stuff, and it wasn't a fun year. There is so many wonderful things that happened, and to really focus on those things and be grateful for them, and just keep making those choices every day moving forward. Yeah, but it took some time. Yeah.
What are the small things that you do day to day to honor her?
Well, I'm a chiropractor, and so I work with people all day, every day, that are hurting, and it's a fun surprise when they say they're good. But yeah, it's like, hey, thank you. But just meeting people where they're at and honoring, being present, right? Meeting somebody where they're at, and figuring out what they need and how can I help? How can I make their day easier? I think that for her every day, and easing pain. She was, brave and strong and good, and helping do that. Enjoying my kids. I have 3 girls now. And just really honoring them for who they are as individual people, and making our family strong and good and fun. I think that's for her too. So, just those day-to-day things. And I mean, I've been a self-help junkie for probably a good decade now. I think trying to mold myself, sculpt myself into something extraordinary. 'Cause I don't think you go through those things for no reason. So it's how can I sculpt myself into something that I can bring more love into the world for her for. So it's been a good kick in the ass in so many ways, actually. Yeah.
Are there any new practices or habits or hobbies that you've picked up that have helped you? You know, when I think about how you've been able to give love to your clients in a different way and work them through pain and whatever it is that they're experiencing, right? But what about when it comes to you as a mother and you as a woman, you as a human being? How have you adapted new things to
Yeah.
yourself to really heal as well too, right?
Yeah. I meditate and I journal. I exercise and eat good food and just all those healthy things. And sometimes I ditch all that because it's kind of fun, just to let myself off the hook. Um, so that's also another, yeah, my occasional self-love is like, I'm just gonna sit and have coffee this morning. But yeah, I think those daily rituals that picked up that lift my spirit. And I did like a ton of spiritual learning just to dig deeper, connect to her, yeah, and make sense of it all instead of, that there's the purpose and love and beauty in it all. So it's that learning too, I think, day to day that's helped me as a person to keep moving forward. Yeah.
Have you had any really powerful experiences since you began a spiritual journey with healing as well?
Yeah, lots. I talk to Dana regularly still. One of my coaches years ago, she she was probably one of the biggest influences on my healing. She, the first hour we worked together, she said, "Okay, I want you to make me a list of 30 or 40 things that benefited you of Dana dying." And I was like, hell no. Like, I don't think so. And she said, we'll do it together. And so it took me 2 sessions. I cried like ugly, snotty, nasty cry for 2 hours. And my heart healed. And she started to make me see that there was beauty and grace in it. And yeah, just it shifted perspective. And she said that. She said, you can talk to her anytime. Just because we die doesn't mean we're gone. We change form, but energy's never destroyed. And at the time, I was like, yeah, you're full of shit. Yeah, it's like, sure. And I was like, that's nice theory, but nah. And yeah, it's no. And she said, just get quiet and really open hearted, and you can talk to her anytime you want to. And it took me a long time, but yeah, I talk to her all the time. And it's not even so profound anymore because it's all the time and just day to day life. And she's with me in different ways. And yeah, it's really beautiful just to have that insight and connection and yeah. But yeah, I've had lots of weird experiences with, yeah, intuition and yeah.
What's the most recent lesson she taught you?
Well, today, on the way here, I'm gonna sit up. She, in the car, she's like, "Don't worry, Mom, I've got you," and I could almost like visualize like leaning back. She's holding me. She's like, "No, not like that. You sit up and stand tall. Like, I'm not carrying you through this. Like, I'm gonna be with you, but no, there's no reclining. Like, so, all right then, I'll stand up, like, which I should do. Yeah, but she was here today, and Amanda, my sister, came with me this evening, and We were walking to the hotel to check in, and there was a feather on the ground, and she said, "That's my sign for Dana." And my other two sisters joined us here, and they turn around. There's a giant thing of a dragonfly somewhere close here. There's a dragonfly painted on a mural or something, and that was one of her things, was dragonflies. And so I said, she's really close. She's here with us. So yeah.
Is there anything that you would say back to her now?
I think before felt so guilty or so bad that I couldn't keep her here. I couldn't do my job, and I felt like I failed her. And I know that's not true. She picked our family because she knew she was going to be here a short time, and she needed somebody who's going to love her fiercely through a lot of crazy shit. And she picked us, and I think we did. So I know I didn't fail her, and yeah, so I think before that's what I would have said, as I'm sorry. And now I know I'm just really grateful that you were part of my life, and it changed who we are and shaped our lives, and so much better for it. Yeah. Yep.
And I think so much of that goes back to what I said earlier about love as forgiveness. So, what have you learned about forgiveness in all of this?
For myself, the perspective that we have expectations, that we need to be a certain way or do certain things, and that maybe that's not true at all, and to just look at it and give yourself that open-heartedness and love and kindness that you would extend to someone else, and wait, because there's always a perspective shift or a twist. It maybe you don't see right at the time when you're beating yourself up. They're actually doing it just right. And I think that's probably the biggest thing, is that I thought I didn't do it well, or I didn't do it right. And I think maybe we did it just right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, for anybody that's in the room tonight that's really had to go through those kind of notions and learn to learn to give love, be love, and all of those things after having so much love just go somewhere else, right? It's not gone, but it's still around, right? But I think that for anybody that needs that help and support, what would you say to them to help them continue to move through love in those moments?
Just stay present. You start looking far forward or far back, and it's usually anxiety or worry or anger and fear in either direction, and staying present and really giving yourself what you need in that moment, and sometimes just a breath or a quiet minute or asking for help, and that you're doing okay. You're doing exactly just right, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. and yeah, keep moving through. You'll make it through, and it won't hurt so much. The hurt eases, and you start to see the love and the beauty in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
and sharing your story, and Dana's as well.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you. I love honoring her. Thank you. It's fun.